following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the chart.
What's the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Sir, you're out of order. Out of order. I show you out of order.
Hey, everybody, I'm Michael.
I'm Emily.
I'm Rob.
And we're your real debaters this week. Welcome to Where the Art of Cinema Meets the Power of Debate. We are your favorite cinephiles. Oh, my God, it's been a summer.
Yeah, I can't believe it's over.
It's done.
It's
I'm
dark
sad.
outside right now.
We sent summer off last Friday with trivia, and you could smell it. You could smell it in the air that that wet
Smells
fall,
like fall.
was around the fucking corner.
What's the lack of body odor from people sweating outside?
Not at Nuit Blanche on Saturday night. A couple of the places I walked to, oh my God, people forget deodorant. I've never forgotten deodorant leaving the house.
Their natural musk is too powerful for deodorant.
Oh, okay. That's what smelly people say, I guess. All
absolutely.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
besides knowing how to properly wash yourself, Lister, welcome back to the show. It's been a minute. All of us have been scattered all over this great province of Manitoba throughout the summer, doing a ton of shit. So now that the weather has kind of turned sour, we're going to be a lot more inside cats than we were outside cats, and that means more episodes and more of us for you. What's on the show this week? I was joking around with you guys. I was like, we're just going to ruin a bunch of movies and TV shows for people today, I think.
Excellent.
We're just going to sit here and be like, so the ending is.
This
So
entire episode's a spoiler alert.
it's a fucking spoiler alert.
We're going to spoil 47 movies for you, so don't listen.
The
if you
best,
don't like that.
Don't listen to the show if you don't like that stuff, because that's what the show is about. Go to another one and give us a listen there. But so yeah, it's surprise ending day here on the Real Debaters podcast. Ones that you might have thought were coming, ones that are big, hard 90-degree turns that you're just like completely fucking stunned, jaw on the floor. What is going on? What did I just see? Kind of movies. We've got a list. I think it's Yardbarker is where I pulled it from. I'm just pulling them.
You looking at me like I read the show notes before I got here.
I'm just looking at you because it's an easy focal point.
I didn't read fuck all.
Yeah, no, this is for us here.
This is the Emily and Rob episode. There's no prep.
Yeah, I know.
I'm raw dogging this motherfucker.
I can see.
I'm like that old man that shows up for the 8-hour flight without headphones. You're like, what the fuck?
You're going in hard, bud. You are hard in the paint patient. So we're going to review a list. We're going to talk about our favorites at the end and which ones shocked us. But before we get to it, we want to talk about us for a second. If you've been listening to the show since like the first episode, then you know that like we started right before Comic-Con. Winnipeg Comic-Con was supposed to happen. And I thought we could get in real right fucking lickety-split quick by starting the show and being like, yeah, we have no episodes, but we should do a panel. And then COVID hit within like a year of doing the show. And we had submitted to get into Winnipeg Comic-Con that year. A new company had taken it over out of Montreal, and we were super excited. And COVID hit, ruined it for us. And the year that COVID started to recirculate into a cold and not be a problem as much, we got an email from Cliff at Comic-Con asking if we wanted to come back. And ever since then, we have done Winnipeg Comic-Con for the last 1, 2, 3 years. This will be our 4th year. Is that fucking weird?
Isn't it 5th?
Awesome.
It's fourth.
No, it's mine.
21,
No, it's
22,
5.
23, 24.
Oh, it is 4.
It's 4,
Okay.
yeah.
That's right, because we did the jingles at.
That's
yeah,
right. That was
that was like where we thought of what we should do at Comic-Con was that kind of thing. And now it's our 4th year, and we're back again, and we're happy to announce we got the email like last week. We're going to be doing dueling debaters, like dueling pianos, except there'll be no music. Unless, Emily, you feel like fucking singing, that's fine.
I always feel like singing, but I won't. Don't worry.
Sing your answers. We're going to have Team 1, Team 2, and we're going to be doing the Debater Fight Club is what we're doing. We're going to have genre-based rounds with some of your most favorite and well-known characters. We're going to put them into a hat. We're going to pull 2 out. And on the fly, we're going to do 1 round maybe of horror, 1 round maybe of superheroes, 1 round of comedy, 1 round of action. Who knows? But you're also going to get to include a round. The 4th round is up to the audience to pick who we should fight. And the only thing we're going to have access to is a laptop for each team with the fandom page from it to pull. So we're going to argue. We're going to insult. You've been to one of these before, guys. You know that we like to have a good time, and you get included. So it's
Whoa! There's no prep for one of the questions?
No, it's all on the fly. Do we know who's in the box?
We are going
What's
to
in
sit.
the box?
What's in the box? We're gonna sit down and we're gonna
Good
put.
spoiler.
We're gonna. It's a great spoiler. Great fucking segue. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put a bunch of our favorite characters down as a group, and then we're gonna put some polls online for some people to throw in. So we'll know who's going in. We'll be well aware of what's in the hat to pull out and kind of play with.
Well, we need a little bit of prep because we need a couple clever quips.
Just
That's what we're going to be doing.
You're born clever. Come on.
Yeah,
Just
dude, you're giving away the
Trust your
facade of how clever we are on the fly. We can't let them.
I'm
know.
not worried. I know I can be clever on the fly.
I've seen you both do it, so I'm
How
not
much
concerned.
Adderall do you need to be clever? That's the question.
How many? What's the pill number? So that's what we're doing October 26th at Winnipeg Comic Con this year. The Dueling Debaters, Real Debaters podcast, Fight Club. It's a simple question. You've seen it in the movie. It's inspired by who would win in a fight when they're sitting there talking about, like, I want to fight Abraham Lincoln. And do you think you could win in a fight against your dad? Like, we're going to ask those questions.
And self-improvement is masturbation.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Fucking snowflakes. So if Fight Club is one of your favorite movies and you
Slide.
Slide. Fucking love that penguin. But if Fight Club is one of your favorite movies and you are going to Winnipeg Comic Con, 445 Pan Am Room, October 26th, it's like the perfect way to either leave Comic Con or start Comic Con. If you're an evening person, come for the evening and check us out beforehand. If you're a daytime person, walk out and put us on your list before you leave. Either way, that's about it. That's the shameless promotion part of.
It's gonna be great. The one time a year I feel like a celebrity.
You really do, right? Like
Yeah.
you walk around with that badge and you feel like my dick grows 12 feet. Right?
I feel like I'm Wayne and Garth going backstage.
Yeah, like ranter in front of a group of tens of people.
Tense.
They're all here to see us.
We draw a crowd.
I prefer a baker's dozen. Okay?
It's not about the size of the crowd. It's about the enthusiasm from it.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's not the size of the crowd. It's what you do with it.
Yeah, 12 people can sound like 60 if they yell loud enough, and you use our sound effect machine. So that's really that. You should come. So it's in the show notes. Get your tickets. Get your tickets now. They're like $20 cheaper if you buy them before October. I think it's 15th.
I think you say before October.
I was going to say, no, we're in October, but I think it's October
October.
15th is the cutoff date. Anyways, let's step off this mortal coil. Emily, what'd you watch this week?
Okay, so those of you who have listened to me before know that I love horror, especially bad horror. I was expecting this.
Are you starting like 30 days of?
No, I just every day is a good horror day if you keep horror in your heart all year round.
You horror.
Exactly. Horror for horror. So I thought that I would check out Longlegs. So this week,
Talk to me.
I watched Longlegs. So again, also, if you've listened to the show before, you know that I am not a fan of Nicolas Cage, although that has recently been.
Rob, I think that was a shot fired.
This is recently.
She's coming
changed.
around.
I am.
She said this last time.
I did say it last time, but then I saw the incredible weight of whatever massive talent, which was one of the best movies that's ever been made.
It might have created one of the greatest memes of all time as well.
Yes, absolutely. And then I saw the Renfield, the one where he's Dracula.
Yes.
Anyway,
super
so
fun.
Overall, I'm coming around on this era of Nicolas Cage. So I was excited to watch Longlegs, but the reviews that I'd seen online were really, really positive. But I heard a review through the toilet stall in a bathroom when I was at the movies where someone came in and said that was the worst fucking horror movie I've ever seen. It wasn't even scary at all. So those were my two things that I was going in with. Really good reviews online, really bad review from the lady taking a shit next to me. So
she doesn't get. No one's going to spare her a square.
No.
So overall, I found it weird. And it was tense. It was tense.
Really
I enjoyed the tension that was building throughout. I wanted it to be a little more
creepy.
No, I guess maybe a little more people are evil and a little less
supernatural.
It's the devil. But it wasn't enough supernatural for me to be monsters are scary. And it wasn't enough this is a serial killer human for me to be people are scary.
Okay.
And I feel like I was kind of left with this I don't know, in the middle.
Did you get the hairs standing at
No.
any points?
No.
It's not jump scary even either.
No,
It could be a bad soundtrack too, though.
Well, it was.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, no, it was building.
Horror
tension.
really does rely on the soundtrack.
It does.
It relies
Yeah.
on the sub,
Yeah.
on the bass.
Yeah. It built good tension. Like there were points when I thought there were points when I was almost there, but then I was let down. You know, like
Were you getting
it
edged?
felt- like the whole movie. I feel. Yeah.
It's like when you're. Never mind.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's like. And so it was
Almost there, not quite there.
Yes, exactly. And then it was kind of like like especially at the end, like I did want that big the big finish. I wanted the last
All over
scene.
my face.
Yes, 100%. I wanted the last scene to be like when she's like, okay, with the girl, right, and she's like, we gotta go. I wanted it to be like she turns the gun on this girl or something and like blows her head off or something
that was
like that.
a little
you
missed
know,
opportunity. I agree.
like if we're possessed by the devil, let's
we're all
be
possessed.
possessed by the devil, right? Let's like fucking go for
So
it.
would this have been a good horror movie in the late 90s? But now it doesn't stack up because of the body of work leading up to this point?
I still think no. Like I still think it just misses
Just falls flat.
just a little bit. Yeah, like
it's short-legged.
it's short-legged, not long-legged. Yeah. Like the character could be creepier, could be more. I don't know. I don't know if I was like.
How was Nick Cage in it?
You know what? Really fucking weird. Which is, I think, what he was supposed to be, and he did a good job.
He's so
Yeah.
weird.
It was very well acted. There were parts where I was like, oh, something is about to happen, and then it didn't happen. So
Then it doesn't. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So maybe that was the point, and if it was, then they did a great job. But I left being like, okay, I needed another.
It's like
horror
listening to
movie.
that progressive trance where you're like it's rising,
You're
and
waiting
it
for the
doesn't
drop.
it doesn't drop.
Yes, exactly.
doesn't
I
drop.
wanted to just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, can I
you're
ask you-
rushing on like 6 hits of anyway.
Yeah. No, I don't know anything what you're talking about. I've never heard
Never.
that before.
We are.
Molly has
we're-
no idea what you're talking
We're
about.
pro drug here. But okay, so I know what you're talking about when you say it almost got there.
Yeah.
Because every time it did, it went back to the story more than it went back to like why we're here.
Yeah.
I think it was it's Osgood Perkins. I think it had too much art house in it for me. I think it was like it did this really cool thing where it told you what point you were in the character's life by changing the frame rate, right? We had 4:3.
Yeah,
that's cool.
that was
That's
cool.
cool.
That
That's
was cool.
And it went from like modern day to found footage family videos.
So there'd be like a filter on it, and,
Yeah.
they would,
Oh, yeah.
and it
Yeah.
would clean it up,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, which is found footage is
like
my
that.
favorite kind of horror.
Yes.
So like I really love found footage
But the
horror.
story was kind of meh.
the story does
it
not.
does-
Characters were meh.
Yeah, like I didn't find the main character super like interesting or believable.
Did you see this in the theater?
No. I don't
It's out
like
now.
going
It's
to the
on-
theater.
Yeah,
I like to be in my
Was it a straight to video
pajamas
release?
at
Like
home.
did it even?
No,
it
was
had a good theater
because
run.
remember
Did it?
someone in the theater watched it and then said that they hated it in the stall next
What
to
were
me.
you going to see when you saw it in the stall? When you heard the stall thing?
Oh.
Yeah, what did you about face?
Was it Deadpool?
Yeah, it was Deadpool. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's what it was. I was like,
Yeah, because it was a summer release, which was weird
Yeah.
because you're not in the like. If I watched Longlegs now, I honestly tell you, with the barometric pressure change and the temperature drop and leaves and shit,
August is the best time to see horror movies.
I don't agree. I think
Late summer date night.
Hey, you want to find out what I'm into as a psychopath?
Well, that's when Scream came out.
I know. And
Jimmy, you listen?
hey, maybe if it was a late night date, it wouldn't have
Good
been
point.
unsatisfying.
Good point.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got some theater head.
Yeah.
and
So
Go on, sorry.
it was fine. It was fine. It was entertaining. I don't want that like 2 hours of my life back or anything.
okay.
Yeah. So I will give it 3 middle-aged actresses playing a really old mom out of 5. Because fuck you when you're 40, whatever, you're basically ancient in Hollywood.
Get text back to us, Rob, when you see it. That'll make that'll make so much fucking
I don't think I'm
sense.
going to watch it.
You know what? Just honestly, you could speed watch it and just be like, "What was Nicolas Cage's
you know what?
character
It's
is
not even
obvious.
worth me speed watching.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm at the point now where my time is so limited. I'm really trying to focus on watching either really exceptional TV shows or really good movies.
I think
agree.
that
I agree.
sometimes,
I'm trying
and
to
then
avoid the filler.
I go back and I watch every season of Hell's Kitchen.
And
So
Emily in Paris.
I've actually never seen Emily in Paris.
Well, we all have our background, which I wouldn't consider watching. If you want to actually spend your time indulging in something that
So background
that your
is-
If you like
phone's in
Sex
the
and the
other
City,
room.
you'll like Emily in Paris.
Yeah, okay, that makes
comparison.
sense. It's just everyone keeps being, oh, Emily in Paris, because my name is Emily, and I don't know why, but for some reason I'm just like, that's a really trite reason
And you're
to
like,
watch
no,
the show.
Emily in
That
Abu
is
Dhabi.
an incredibly
Yeah,
trait.
exactly. But there's
My wife loves it, so
But there's
it's something I watch with her.
By
there's no
proxy,
good reason
yeah.
for me not to watch it, except that it's got my name, which shouldn't be a reason for me not to watch it. I can't.
Episodes
explain
are short, seasons are short. It's easy to just watch. You shut your brain off and just laugh.
it. I like that.
It's
All right,
simple.
So then what did you put?
So my question to you: do you guys want to hear about the movie I went and saw with my kid, or the movie that I just saw last night?
Which one was better? Oh, he went and saw The Wild Robot.
I did go see Wild
I know,
Robot.
I can tell.
is it like an orgasmic explosion for the eyes?
You know what? It was, but then I watched Wolves last night.
Oh, I want to hear about wolves.
I want to hear about wolves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do
Yeah,
Wolves.
give me wolves.
I'll
because
just
I've
say
been-
this
I've
one
been-
thing about Wild Robot. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be,
That's what I've heard.
and it made me cry.
Whose is it? Who made it?
I don't even know.
Okay, so it
but
could
it's
be-
like Pixar-esque, I think.
Okay.
It's not Pixar.
I think it's Universal did it,
Okay.
Oh,
but it
fine.
wasn't Illumination. It was, I don't know. It was good. Yeah, I liked it. Wolves. So I watched that last night. It's on Apple.
Yeah.
I mean, George Clooney, Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good.
Is it cool?
It's cool. It starts a little slow, and then like at one point, Michelle, she had to go to the washroom, so we paused it. And she goes, "I don't know about this movie. It's kind of slow." And I was like, "Give it a little bit of time, okay?"
Let it marinate.
And then about like 10 minutes in, she was like, "Oh, this is fucking really good." And I was like, "I told you." And I mean, it's funny. It's clever. It's just the two of them. You can tell they're just having a blast. It's just two buddies making a fucking wicked movie
Nice.
that has funny dialogue, not a ton of excessive, and it's funny. It's clever. It's got a great feel to it, great look to it. They're both kind of grumpy older guys doing their thing. It's got a nice little twist at the end.
Ooh, topical.
Ooh, and it's got this kid that I've seen. It's got Austin Abrams in it.
Yeah, and I can't remember where I've seen him before,
I'll
but
tell you, I think he was.
But
in,
there's a chase scene where they're chasing him, and it's so fucking hilarious and so ridiculous.
George Clooney is so funny. I find him very,
They're
very,
both funny.
very
They're
funny.
both funny, I
Yeah,
think.
Brad Pitt's
Brad
funny
Pitt's
too.
really
but,
funny, too.
But George Clooney has that like dry humor that I've always really
Yeah.
loved. Like Men
Yeah.
Who Stare at Goats is like one of my favorite movies.
It's a good movie.
It's so
It's a
funny.
super good
Is it,
and
is
like
it better because it's true too?
I don't know what makes Burn
yeah.
After Reading
Right?
is like
Yeah.
in
the
my
chair?
top 5.
Burn after reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, like George Clooney
Gotta
is
go for a run. Gotta get a for a run.
Get a run in. Gotta get a run in.
Gotta get a run.
Yeah, he's comedic genius in my mind.
Anyway, it's less than 2 hours. It's fun. It's got two massive stars in it. It's
It's movie romance. It's what we like
and it's
about
a
movies.
good little caper, and it's just I don't know. It's Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Like, how can you go wrong?
Austin Abrams is from Euphoria, by the way, and some other
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
All those
Okay.
Euphoria kids are getting
They are, and John Watts too. John Watts
Getting their
directed.
movies.
He wrote and directed it.
Yeah. So, also the same dude who did all 3 new Spider-Man too.
spiders.
So,
man.
like, can be hired by Disney, but can also write a really cool story.
Yeah, cool.
It's a fun, good movie. I would just recommend people watch it. It's got good vibes to it. It's got good dialogue. I don't want to ruin anything
Is
for
it
you guys.
Oceans adjacent? Because they're fixers, right? Like they're
yeah.
Hollywood
I mean,
fixers.
you definitely see that, right? And I mean, I think that's that behind.
That's the
this,
bond.
That's that off-camera camaraderie those two have.
Yeah.
And you know that they're really good buddies in real life. So I think that there's that carries over onto.
It's like
onto
Woody
screen.
and McConaughey.
Totally, except for they're not brothers.
God,
Affleck and Damon.
God, yeah. Okay, there we go. Tell us about robots, because you're quick and dirty about your reviews. So, how was it? Whose voices were in it?
I don't know.
You don't want to talk about it?
It made him cry, man. He's-
Like, are you still affected by
No,
it? You don't
no,
wanna-
it was.
Do you want to do this publicly?
No, it was good. It was good. I mean, Lucy really, really enjoyed it.
Sure.
And I thought there was a cool scene in it where the robot, gets released. And I'll just say that, and it's
Okay.
trying to talk to all the animals, but it can only speak English and all the other human dialects. And then it goes, I don't understand you. I'm going to go into stasis and listen and learn your languages. And it basically sits there and learns all the animals' languages. And it's like tick, 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 tick. And then all of a sudden it stops and it's got like leaves and dirt and shit all over it. So it's obviously been sitting there for weeks and weeks and weeks. But then it can like listen. It can talk to all the different animals. And I'll leave it at that.
That's so cool. So
that's a really cool
So
trick.
if I'm going to take the kids to a movie, our options are Wild Robot and Beetlejuice. Which one?
I've seen Beetlejuice with my kid as well.
Okay.
How'd she take it?
She liked it. But
Because apparently I'm only taking my kids to see one movie. Because I'm
No kidding.
Like, I'm like, there's one.
You get one a year.
One movie.
I'd say Wild Robot was a better movie.
Ooh, okay.
Beetlejuice 2 was good. Don't get me wrong. But I think Wild Robot was a more fun experience and more.
What if my kids are?
It was more cinematic based. It was a better movie to see in the theater.
Okay.
Than Beetlejuice would
Let's
be.
say, what if my kids are weird ass like gothy teenagers now who are obsessed with Wednesday Addams?
Then I would no.
They-
That being said, I would take them to Beetlejuice.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably more in the
Yeah.
ballpark. But hang on, Pedro Pascal, Bill Nye,
Bill
Mark
Nye.
Hamill,
I would take them to go see Joker.
Oh, they would never sleep again.
Lupita Nyong'o, Catherine O'Hara,
They're obviously not that badass, Goss.
Matthew Barry,
No, they're just getting there.
Yeah.
Alexandria Novell. Like there's a pretty big voice cast in this.
Can we
robot.
like?
Who's the main robot?
Was it Fink or was it Bright? Bright Bill was Kit Connor, Pedro was Fink, Bill Nye was Long Neck, Stephanie
Long legs.
Stephanie Sue was Vontra, Mark Hamill was Thorn,
Mark Hamill.
Oh, Mark
Van
Hamill.
Grams was Thunderbolt,
Yeah, those are all the different animals. I
Wow,
think.
that's really cool.
Matt Berry was Paddler.
So if we just all collectively as a society decided we don't make movies without Pedro Pascal in them anymore, like that's just
Hottest fucking ticket to like you want to hitch your cart to something.
Yeah.
You hitch it to the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Nwongo.
What is she in?
Do you remember
The
in
Wild Robot.
The Wild Robot. Yeah, she's in the Wild Robot.
Well, she's the wild robot. Oh,
She's
she's in
also
Us.
Black
12 Years
Panther,
a Slave.
12
Okay,
Years a Slave.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Does she
She's
play
very
his
anamorphic.
sister? No.
In
no.
12 Years a Slave?
No, in Black Panther. No, that's somebody
No,
else.
she plays his love interest.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. She has the kid in the second one, and you don't
Okay.
know there's a. Okay, so Wild Robot.
You know
how
what?
many-
I was so into the movie, I didn't even care because you know
Really?
sometimes I watch
Yeah.
animated movies. I'm like looking for
Who is it? Do they look like they are?
Right. I was so into the moment that I didn't care.
That's really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing
I'm glad
that.
you had a beautiful moment in the theater.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so how many Rob tears out of 5?
4.
That's a lot of tears.
Don't
And-
forget you can use a 0.5.
Yeah, 4.
Four.
Yeah. If like one turned into 2, you could use a 0.5. Tears, I mean.
It wasn't the last unicorn.
How many Brad Pitt smiles do you give wolves? How many George Clooney cups of coffee?
I would give it a solid 4 because I'd watch it again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you I like watching those two on screen. I walk out and I'm like, I'm better somehow.
I
don't know what it is.
I have a man crush on Brad Pitt.
So do I.
I always have.
Yeah.
I know someone who lives in LA, and just as a side note, he told me that Brad Pitt smells.
I'm
He
sure
probably
he
doesn't
has
wear.
to
He
have
probably
a
doesn't wear
problem.
deodorant because he's a
not.
natural human.
He's a stinky man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I mean, you can be natural, but that doesn't mean I have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like
He should go to Nuit Blanche.
Brad Pitt's a hipster.
Do you want a movie from me or do you want a show from me?
I like shows.
Well,
Like
you're
shows?
long-winded, so it's only one.
Okay.
We'll
I know,
see.
I know.
We'll
Why-
see.
Why do you think I cut myself the most? So okay, you want the show? All right,
Yeah.
I did Monsters, Menendez Brothers.
Oh, how was that?
I've heard that that's really hard to watch.
Hoy.
That's a crazy story.
Oh yeah, especially like
Kids killing their own parents, right?
yeah, parasite is what they call it. Yeah, okay, so Ryan Murphy's out of the bag again, like hard in the paint. I've watched a lot of Ryan Murphy. The last
Who's
couple
Ryan
of
Murphy?
producer extraordinaire of like American Horror Story,
Oh, okay.
911.
Okay,
like,
okay.
Um,
I'm not that up on producers.
that's okay. That's okay. Like that's fine.
Unless it's Jerry Bruckheimer.
Your Instagram feed and mine are drastically different.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
mine's
so,
all ancient aliens and UFOs.
Yeah, mine's Will Smith punching UFOs.
Okay.
Whatever.
Does he have proper hands?
So,
Anyway.
did we need 9 hours to watch this whole thing unfold?
Probably
Whoa, it's
yes.
9 hours?
And change.
Wow.
I'd say 9:25, 9:28, something like that.
The NSYNC documentary I watched wasn't even that long.
I know, and there's way
There's
more
so
to
much
talk
to talk about. Yeah.
So, you get the goods right in the first episode, but what it is it's an exploration from their side and the parent side. because you were always told by the kids that the parents were abusive sexually and physically. The mom hated them, regretted having them, wanted to just be with her husband. And then you get it from the boys' side, who did it and did it in cold blood and did it for the money, because a week after their parents were dead, they blew $700,000 on cars, and one of them was going to write their friend's pilot. That's a true story.
Everyone grieves differently.
I know, but publicly with lots of money isn't how you win the crowd. So you get that. So the first episode is the crime right out the gate.
Ooh, I like that.
So you're not like waiting for what Dahmer did in Monster. If you watch Monster, you really...
So is it a documentary or is it like a fictionalized...
Nathan Lane's in it. A girl I've seen.
Okay.
She was at Nick. There was an actress in Nick and North's playlist. I can't remember her name right now.
Okay.
But there's some repeat offenders. No Evan Peters, no Sarah Paulson. Like, they're all done. This is his like breakaway. Like when he did OJ Crime Story and like brought Travolta in to play Robert Shapiro and David Schwimmer to play Kardashian. That's what this is. But so if you didn't know, like 20.
So it's basically a mini series.
It is 100%.
Okay.
If you didn't know, kids, like 42 shotgun blasts to the face, body, knees, like.
Whoa! Is that really what happened?
Yes.
They went outside and
didn't realize
reloaded.
that.
They emptied two full clips into their parents.
You think rich people would be better at hiding that crime?
They went and they really
they just didn't think they would get in trouble.
they went hard in the paint that it was the mafia, because they said the mafia shoots people this many times, and they're like, why else do you think it was the mafia? And they're like, because they shoot this many times. Like they really fucked their story up. And you get the side of them being absolute silver spoon fed bitches. Then you get the side of them that made up, like, you never see the parents abuse them actually. Like Jose admits that he beat them once, and
just one time as a treat.
Kitty, Chloe Cerveni is Kitty. What's his face?
So how bad is beat?
Beat is
Like one slap?
Yeah. We're not talking about chains in the basement.
Or like, yeah.
We're talking about what was
pummeling them in the
what
face.
society
repeatedly.
accepted in the late 80s, early 90s at the time.
My kids would totally beat me up now. Like I'm past the phase where I could ever beat my kids. They would.
So I thought in the late 80s a slap was acceptable.
I don't know. I just know that.
I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask.
I was lightly spanked, and I was beat, not beat, but like smacked as a kid.
Like wooden spoon.
I opened my mouth and said some shit.
Yeah.
And my mom hauled off and smacked me, and I'm like, yeah, you had all the right in the world to. I was a fucking dick.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you get that for 9 hours. You get 2 courtroom trials. You get the first one that was a hung jury. You get the one that puts them away. You find out that Lyle, the crazy one, wrote a book just like OJ and was like, I can wear a yellow sweater and make the jury feel like they're sad for me. I know how to wear a yellow sweater and do this in court. I can gain the jury's empathy because I know what to do and I know how to cry. I'm so good at crying. On a phone call to a woman that was in love with him, that just wanted to smell his underwear because she was a crazy fan for serial killers. You see that.
So many things.
You find out. I didn't even know one of them had a toupee. Like one of them was always bald, and like early on in the series, they yank Lyle's hair out, and he's got it like in by hooks. Like I believe they killed their parents because their parents were really hard on them, and then Jose was like, "I'm done giving you money. I'm done paying." Like Lyle gets an Alfa Romeo for his 20th birthday, and he's like, "Dad, this car's a piece of shit."
Oh, I'll take it.
And he's like, "I'm sorry, my mother and I thought you would get like this car." He's like, "It's a piece of crap."
But this is fictionalized, right? Like it's based on a true story, but it's
based on the
fictionalized.
novel that was written about.
And then they fill in some shit.
They do fill in.
Yeah.
For dramatic effect.
They fill in that apparently they abused each other. There's that critic about it.
Like
there's
the two brothers abuse each other?
There's a shower scene where they're jerking each other off.
What?
Which is not based in any sort of reality. Is both brothers will be like, we weren't incestual with each other. Like,
is that to normalize incest?
I don't know what it's Ryan
The
Murphy.
woke agenda. Cut that one. Cut that, please.
Please keep that.
This is the episode where we ruin ourselves and the end of movies for you, listener.
Oh my god.
But it's shocking. I mean, the gunshot sequence where they kill them in the beginning is slowed right down to like halftime. So you see them come in like just shot. Like
yeah, sorry, halftime's not slow mo enough for me.
It's like Deer Hunter.
I feel like I would just like close my eyes for that part.
Yeah.
Like,
you see, like Jose gets his jaw shot off.
Yeah.
Kitty takes like 3 full blasts to the face. They shoot her kneecaps out.
I just want I'm here for the courtroom drama part.
The courtroom drama part will really not you.
If the glove don't fit, you got to acquit.
So Rob, can I tell you something about that?
I'm not allowed to say that.
No, you
anymore.
are. But Lyle in the show is like OJ because OJ was happening.
Oh,
at the same time.
this is actually a reference.
This is a reference to
so
the
me
show.
trying to be funny, it actually
It
relates.
actually works.
So Lyle's talking to his lawyer. He's like, "We need a catchphrase. I really feel that this trial needs a catchphrase." And I can't remember what he says, but he says, "If you were abused, you must recuse." That's what it is.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like, "If you were abused, you must recuse." And he's just yelling this at his lawyer, right? Like he's a giant man-child, a sociopathic, greedy man-child, and his brother's just a little bitch, Eric, who like could never play a tennis game right. Like they're portrayed as infantile and silver spoon fed and a lot of things, but like
might be me, sorry.
that's okay. And you get this feeling that I don't think they were abused. As much as they want to say they were, I don't think they.
I think they were abused as much as any kid was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Meaning it was a little bit of tough love where it needed to be. And what were the parents rich from? Like where was the
the
fortune
money?
made?
So he was in film. He was
Okay.
in Hollywood, but he made a huge deal for Menudo. Jose was a big RCA tycoon.
Okay.
In like the era of like the artist gets screwed and the royalties come in,
especially when it's a boy band from Puerto Rico.
exactly right. And like
Screwed
That's where they're
extra
from,
hard.
right? Puerto Rico.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they poke holes in every argument
Yeah,
that
yeah.
wasn't brought up in the first trial.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a hung jury is 50-50. I mean, you've only
No, it's not 50. A hung jury can be as much as
it can be
as little as
11-1.
one.
Yeah.
Although as a true
That's be
crime
unanimous.
as a true crime aficionado, I feel like I need to take this information away, learn as much as I can, listen to all the podcasts, and then come back.
Netflix also did a documentary about the Menendez
You don't want to
brothers.
read the Bias Wikipedia page?
I'll start there.
It's self-edited by them from prison.
The Menendez brothers are awesome. They have great hair.
The show itself,
Especially the bald one.
like, yeah, he's fucking psycho, man. The show itself, the way it's shot, all those things. It's Ryan Murphy production, so it's a world you get into, right? Like every season of American Horror Story and 911, like you
I'm
accept
hit and
the
miss on
world.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, I am too. I am
Yeah.
too. But like, it did need to be 9 episodes. It does over sensationalize some stuff that really isn't.
If it had been
accurate.
13, it would have been like a callback to early 2000s HBO.
Yeah. Oh, seriously, the good old days.
Are you listening, HBO?
Yeah.
Make some fucking proper shows.
Stop being so cheap.
They're just coming out with something new that I was excited about.
I'm not excited about
the
anything
franchise-
HBO does lately.
The franchise is what you're excited.
Is it going to
about.
be good?
It's like a new Silicon Valley, but for making fun of superhero movies.
Yeah, but is it going to be actually funny now?
It won't be like Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley is so funny.
It's so good, and it holds up.
Yeah, it
All
does.
in all, I give Menendez 3 out of 5 kitty kneecaps blown out.
Wow.
Yeah, she held her hands up as one of them came in, and you can see her fingers get like completely.
Ew.
Now, if you didn't have the excessive gore, would you have been into it as much?
No, I wouldn't have,
Okay.
because that's what.
So there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, oh, there
Noted.
is. Yeah, no, I'm part of that study where people who watch true crime before bed, like, yeah, I know.
You sleep better?
I'm going to drive home with my true crime podcast on being like, yeah, and they never found the body. Whoa, cool.
All right, you want to open the floor and do this shit? And do some
Floor is
debating?
open.
Yeah, what are we debating again?
Okay, if you kids check your phones, you will see that I sent you the link because we're having some internal difficulties here at the studio with our casting.
What?
So
I
you
was
gotta go.
so folded up like
I
a little pretzel.
I know. Just get in your phone. You all have the link. It's a Yardbarker link this week. From when was this one? This one is from July 2024. So this is a recent list.
I
so
have,
this is
I have a concern. What if my choices are on this list?
well. That's why we're going
It's
to wait
okay.
until
You
the
can-
end
you can come back.
to reveal your choices. And
Let
see
me
if they made
guess,
it to
Fight
this
Club.
list. Don't shoot so low. I mean, Fight Club is definitely on the list, but this is 20 famous movies that have an unforgettable twist ending. So, I mean, I guess before we get into it, do we like big surprise endings? Are
Yes.
you a big fan of them?
Yeah.
Around the room?
I
Yeah.
am.
Like
Are you, Emily?
Have I what?
A big fan of twists.
in the room?
Oh, I love to do the twist and the mashed potato. So you want me to pick up my phone and now I'm distracted.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't realize what kind of child I was working with today.
Wait, you can't do the and like semi pay attention.
I do love twists. I love a twist ending, specifically when the twist is like the ending is bad. Not bad like bad, not enjoyable, but like when the ending is like everybody dies.
Oh,
I really
I bet you our picks are the same.
I really like getting to the end of a movie and being like, what the fuck?
So you like it dark as fuck?
Yeah, I do. Like
I like it when it's because when I'm watching a movie, I'm always, the movie Knowing, where he's like analyzing a million different pathways.
Oh, your brain doesn't turn off.
So my brain doesn't turn off, and when I'm watching a movie, I'm always like, "Oh, maybe he's gonna do this. Maybe he's gonna do this. Maybe he's gonna do this. Maybe this." And then as I'm getting closer to the end, I'm saying to myself, I think it's probably going to be one of these 5 things. And then when it's something completely so fucking out of that, and you were just like,
I go back and forth because I love trying to predict movies, but I don't want to spoil the ending for other people. And so when I'm watching movies with other people, I just keep it all in my head. But when I'm watching movies with Dan, I like yell
Spoiler alert.
I yell out what I think the ending is going to be like every time I have a new.
Do you do that because you're trying to fuck with him?
No, because I'm doing it because
it's on the record when she does
it's
it.
on the record, right? So if I get to the end and I'm like, I knew it, I will have said it already.
So you're trying to be a know-it-all.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
100%.
That's fair.
Yeah.
She knew
Obviously.
that. She knew that.
Yeah, you knew that.
Like, duh, Rob. Duh.
Yes. It's like you just met me.
I love a good surprise ending, but I don't like when there's an oversaturation of them in the market. I mean,
like they can't be every second movie.
Yeah, like you need to save the surprise. It's like it's like a high calorie dessert, right? You don't have it all the time. You enjoy it. It's not something like because it's at the end of the meal, right? Just like
you don't eat creme brulee every day.
Exactly. I'm okay
but
with
when
Jell-O.
I have the creme brulee, it better be fucking awesome.
Exactly. It should be crispy on top. It should be soft below. It should taste like vanilla. It should have all the things that make it there.
Not trying to do weird flavors.
Yeah, which are all the little red herrings that you're left throughout. And
if you get a red hair in your creme brulee, you should send it back.
Yeah. Fishy creme brulee doesn't work.
But. Okay, I was going to disagree, but now I'm thinking I do agree because I...
Which
I was going to disagree. I was
yeah.
like, you can shock me every time in a movie and I would love it, but that's actually not true because I really love, like...
The happy ending?
Happy endings. I love a happy ending.
Yeah.
I love a comedy,
Happily ever
romance.
after.
Yeah, I want where everybody gets together. And
I think you need a mix of that because I think if it's always a twist and it's always misery and it's always fuck... At some point, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, life's too unpredictable.
Well, and how many of these? I mean, I've perused this list a few times. Most of these movies are tragic, are heartbreaking, are sad, are horrors, are violent. Like a surprise ending at the end of a happy movie is wasted.
That's
it
what
makes
a fucking
no sense.
sadist does.
Yeah, right. Like it's totally wasted on you because it's like, well, I don't need this. First of all,
It's like you're about to come and then somebody like smashes your dick.
It's like watching Long Legs with Emily. Right?
One of mine is on here. Damn it.
I knew it would be, but like
this is a pretty good list actually.
It's something that you aspire to, and if you do it, you want to put yourself in the upper echelons of like surprise endings.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever genre it is, whatever fucking style it is, having that big what the fuck at the end. Because then that's the thing that everybody talks about. Oh my God, you haven't seen the ending. The ending.
Yeah,
the
it's
ending,
like
the
no
ending.
one and for all of time will ever stop talking about The Sixth Sense as if it's like the best thing in the whole entire world. It's just fine.
I think the good thing about The Sixth Sense, and if you think back to it, is how well everybody kept that fucking secret.
Yeah, nobody
Holy
told
shit,
anybody.
right?
I
You
know.
know what I mean? Yeah.
People were seeing that movie a month after it launched, and they still did, and no one fucking
Do you think
spoiled
it's because
it.
we didn't
Yeah.
have these?
I think that's a big part of it, but I also think just people respected everybody enough. It's kind of like probably like, I mean, I was too young to remember Empire Strikes Back and being in the theater. I was like 2, but I think people kept their mouth shut. It's like that Simpsons episode
Except
where
Homer, that's
where
the one
Homer's
I know.
like,
Oh my God, I can't believe it was his father.
You actually know
You
a
got a Simpsons
reference?
reference.
Thank
this
you.
is our twist ending right here.
Yeah,
The
this is-
fuck
this is
just
me being a
happened?
writer.
And
Yeah.
that's the episode, folks.
And listeners buy lottery tickets because
Yeah, I studied that one. Yeah, no, do you like it when like you feel stupid?
Yes.
I think
If
so,
a movie,
yeah.
a book, a play, whatever it is, can make me feel dumb, like how did I not see that coming? Then yes, I
don't
love
even
that.
think it's so much about being made to feel dumb.
Not dumb, but tricked.
I like being
Duped.
tricked or
Yeah.
just it's so completely outside of where I thought anything would land.
Yes.
But not too much, so that when you look back, you can't see how the breadcrumbs were leading you there. Like it can't be
Kaiser
too much.
Soze.
it
like
can't
you
be
went-
too
it's
much
like
of a
you-
hard
yeah,
left.
that's
It
good.
has
That's
to be.
true.
You have to be able to like as
Like,
soon
they-
as the twist happens, you have to be able to connect it back in your brain and go like, oh, of course, you know.
That's a very good point, because most of the time if you do the surprise ending and it's like there are no breadcrumbs, there are no Easter eggs, there's nothing that brought us here, it's just like you didn't have an ending.
Right.
It's
you
like
got
there was no
lazy.
Yeah,
substance
you didn't
to
have it
get
on.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But like, it's you have to be able to go back and point to those little pieces. And for me, I don't know about you guys, but for
Or they
me,
have to be able to show you. Sometimes in a movie,
They
it'll be a
flashback,
surprise,
flashback.
and then they'll recap on it.
Yeah.
like the game, right? Is a
Or
good example.
Nolan watching
Yeah.
Memento
Yeah.
and forward,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah,
giving you the option after you see him draw it, and you're like, what the fuck is that? That's not a movie.
Well, even in Prestige, at the end, they do
they give you-
flashbacks to certain things, and he's like, "Oh yeah."
It's when the character has the
yeah.
moment
Yeah.
of self-realization of, oh shit, there's 24
Well, it
Christian
shows
Bales
a
down here.
it shows a picture of Christian Bale with the full makeup, and you're like, "Oh fuck, that is him with the makeup." I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's placing it like, that's the thing, is that you're placing it in this small tiny frame. How do you do it
Yeah.
so well that it's obvious, right?
Well, and for
but
me,
it's not.
For me, like I think my love of it comes from like locked door mysteries. Like that was always like when you're like an Agatha Christie novel or like P.D. James or something, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's
But is a surprise ending in a mystery that much fun when you know everything's a mystery? Like
I think so.
Yeah?
Still, yeah. I
Still,
think
totally.
because
Okay.
because the good authors,
Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
Glass
That's a prime
Onion.
example.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
or Glass Onion.
the
right?
ones that are like the ones that really make you go like, wow.
Well, we
like,
all love.
and but the thing is, the breadcrumbs are there the whole time, right? You're like, and so if they can leave those, and you're looking for them, trying to find them, and then it's still surprised by it, like, oh.
Well,
it's
and
the
there's the obvious of like I just watched The Perfect Couple, and it's another mystery writer, and it did so well that
I'm so excited to see that.
like it's really fun. It's really fun. It's not great, but it's really fun.
Is that the one with
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman
Yeah.
and
Liev Schreiber.
Liev Schreiber?
Yeah.
Liev Schreiber.
And they do these things where like they hold camera takes, they hold on things that are like, should I be?
So it's almost like they're trying to fuck with you.
they
a
are
little bit.
at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, right? Where it's
You should pay attention to this, but
But-
really, it's like a magician's trick. It's like, look over here
it's
while I do something
misdirection
here.
all day
Yeah.
long, all day
Ooh.
long.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
'Kay.
So
I wasn't gonna watch that movie, but maybe I will.
It's a
now.
show.
Yeah, it's
It's a
and
show.
it's only like 6
Isn't it a show?
episodes
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it's a series.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a miniseries. They're taking all of her mysteries now, and they're gonna stack them with big casts. She just got like a 5-picture deal or some shit.
I don't know who this is.
I don't know who she is either, but I watched the show, and then I heard later on in the week that after the show had its like first 2 weeks, that Netflix was like, they like her other properties, they like her books, they're easy to adapt, they did well, big opening weekend, big watch numbers,
Cool.
blah blah blah.
Sweet.
Okay, first on the list, this is 20 famous. We have.
Oh, all right. We have to look at our phones.
We have to look at our phones, Kens. No one can
can't
see
believe
this.
this.
So it is the
Interesting.
big of the big. It's the number one on the list. I guess we're gonna see what 20 is, or does it matter where this is placed?
I think this is just a random list. I don't think it's like it's like this is the best, and we're working to the 20th. I think it's just
20 famous, not
Yeah.
20 of the best. So but when you make a list, does it deserve to be there?
I mean, I think you need to think back to 1999 when you watched this movie, right? Like I
Yeah.
mean, and I think all of us probably saw it in the theater,
Mm-hmm.
and you were just
Yep.
like, when it happened, the whole theater went,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
like
A
there
big
was like,
gasp.
and it's one of those things where it's like watching TV back in the 90s where everyone was watching something on a Thursday
18
night.
million on
that's
Thursday
right.
night.
Yeah, like
tuning in.
appointment
Yeah.
television.
JR
Yeah.
got shot and everyone's fucking watching.
And then
like,
Bobby was dreaming the whole fucking time.
but you know what I mean? But I mean, we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have that type of
Yeah.
thing anymore because again, they launched something in the movie theater, and like 3 days later, you can pay $40 and watch it on your fucking TV. At
it's
home.
too
And-
too fast. It's,
And this
you
is
know?
before
it's too furious.
too fast and too furious. This is
It is.
before
I just watched
everyone.
them all.
I love those movies. This is before everyone knew that like an M. Night Shyamalan movie was going to have a twist.
This
Well,
is
that
what
was his,
made-
that was
because
his
it's the
first
first
one.
one.
First
Yeah.
one, totally.
He didn't know what he was
Yeah.
going to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then-
so
I feel like he's chasing this the whole time. It's like the first time you do cocaine, and every time you're trying to get to that first
Yeah,
high
you're chasing
again,
the white
right?
rabbit again.
Yeah,
yeah.
you
no.
know.
I would.
Well,
know.
and
No,
I mean,
I don't know.
We did a conversation. It's an episode, kids. You can go back, just go to our website and talk about one-hit wonders.
Mm-hmm.
And M. Night Shyamalan's on the list because, by comparison, wow. I mean, not everything slaps like it did. I mean, The Village was another one,
Village,
right?
Signs.
Village is
Right.
pretty good.
Signs was
Signs
all-
are pretty good. Yeah,
But Signs was like, really, water?
Yeah.
Really, water? I mean, that's not that big. Like, that's a letdown. That's,
Yeah.
That's a,
Oh, yeah.
Would Signs have been as good if Mel Gibson hadn't been the lead?
Maybe. I
Would
mean,
Signs have been better if we hadn't already seen A Sixth Sense?
True.
Probably.
Because everything is carried against the Sixth Sense.
True.
But it is such a and like when they do the loop back and you're like red doorknob, red dress,
Yeah.
like all
The
of,
Village was a bigger surprise though. Than
I agree.
Signs.
I agree. That's where he outdid himself.
Like The Village, you were like, what the fuck? This is modern
Oh
times.
my God, this is a park?
Holy fuck! And you're like, holy shit! They like had like a no flyover zone, and
Yeah.
they paid for the. And you're like, what the heck?
It's a
Yeah.
big organization. So I mean, if we're just gonna make this simple, like good surprise ending, bad surprise ending, Sixth Sense,
Good.
great,
Definitely good.
awesome,
Yeah.
plus.
Definitely
I
good.
see dead people.
Usual Suspects, Kaiser Sose.
Dude, this is like, this is on everyone's top 5, I think.
Verbal can't disguise herself.
And the funny thing is, this is one of those movies, like The Sixth Sense, I can't really rewatch.
You can't.
The Usual Suspects, I could fucking rewatch.
It's a
I know
good
what's going to
movie.
happen,
Yeah.
but I'm so excited to get to that point that I'm cool with it.
I love the lineup scene, and the lineup scene is mostly improv. It's just them fucking around. Give me the keys, yeah, daddy motherfucker. Ah! Oh shit!
I need a rewatch of
Yeah.
this guy. This
Stephen
came-
Baldwin's so good in it. And the funny thing is, he did that right after he'd just done Biodome.
Yeah,
And then he does fucking The Usual Suspects, and you're like, that's a guy from Biodome.
Kevin Pollak, Gabriel Byrne,
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, may he rest in
Boo.
Hollywood hell.
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro, like
Benicio del
I
Toro,
mean,
yeah.
like it's such
Back when he was as handsome as Brad Pitt.
all of us, yeah, he was. All of us, I assume, were surprised. Neither of us, I
Yep,
didn't
didn't see it
call it.
coming.
I didn't
Nope.
see it
No.
coming at all.
No.
And I mean the beautiful reveal of the coffee cup, right? And you're just like, oh my God, he's been doping me the entire fight. He's been rope-a-doping me
Well, then,
the
and then
whole fight.
And then he starts thinking about things he says, and he looks at different things in the room, and he's like, what the fuck?
he just conned on the fly, and that's the cool thing about
What's the
verbal
cop's name again? Chaz
Palminteri
Palminteri.
or
Yeah.
something to
Did
that.
he got an Oscar nom for that? Didn't he too? Like best supporting or something?
It doesn't have it here, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, okay. Maybe he didn't.
Good surprise ending.
Good surprise.
Good surprise.
Yeah.
Fight Club.
Oh,
2R1, right?
yeah.
Like, dude.
Where is my mind?
You can't go wrong with Fight Club.
Did you guys read the book?
Yes.
Yes.
So you knew before?
I read
the book after.
Oh, you read
Yeah.
the book after. Okay. I was someone who read the book after as well too. I was too young when that came out to be like, who's Chuck Palahniuk and this amazing American contemporary writer? But yeah, I think and like
Well, the funny thing is too is you see it the first time and you're like, holy fuck, and then you go see it a second time, and then you see the snippets
Yep.
of Tyler Durden being cut in, and you're like, oh my god, they show fucking flashes of him.
Yeah.
and then it's reminiscent of him inserting the dick. And I don't know if you know, there's a dick right at the end, right at the
there is
credits.
a
Right at the credits.
yeah, there's-
And like Chuck Palahniuk, above and beyond like the movie from Fight Club, every one of his books, honestly,
Fantastic.
is so good. Like so much fun to read, and almost all of them have a really cool twist.
they do.
Yeah.
They do. He's
And-
big in like
Like they get a good bait and switch, like in all of them,
exactly.
all of them.
Yeah.
That's a good way to
So
put it.
really worth a read if you're a reader. Sorry, I know it's the TV video movie.
No, that's I mean
How dare you read?
the best writers make the best movies.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and like the
When
cult
you have
classic,
a gun in your mouth, you only speak in vowels.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna go on a quote roll, but
I went to the next one. I'm like, I can't handle a twist ending. It's
The
too
bed's
exciting for
covered
me.
in slippery plastic.
first rule of Fight
I haven't been
Club,
fucked
kids.
like that since grade school.
There it is. There it is.
So if you guys have ever watched, like, I love Fight Club a lot, and I've watched the commentary. The commentary's so good because it's David Fincher, it's
And-
Brad Pitt, it's Edward Norton, and who's the female lead in it?
Oh, Helena Bonham
Helena
Carter.
Bonham Carter.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's all of them, and they get to a point where they talk about alternative statements, and one of them one of the ones they filmed for that scene was, "I want to have your abortion."
Wow.
Like, whoa.
Like there's other takes of them.
Yeah, there's other takes of that like line, and that was the one they
Okay,
went
you have
with.
to give me that steel box
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure you have it in
Yeah,
a steel box. I want to
do.
see that.
I do.
Memento number 4,
So good.
2000. So good.
Yeah.
Have you watched it in proper order?
Yes.
Because
And-
there's an option you can watch it like
Oh,
And then on
really?
the
Like,
DVD,
yeah.
Oh, I
Instead of
don't
it being all disjointed, it's like
Nice.
it shows it in order.
He
yeah.
cut it in the order that it's natural, and then he recut it so that it's
So-
what it is.
So this movie was one of the, like, this one came out when I was 12. And so this one is one that, like, one of the first movies that I consciously remember of being like, this is a really good really weird movie. Like most of these ones that we were talking about, I saw them later in life because I was too young when they came out. But I was 12 when this one came out, and I was like, I saw it and it was mind-boggling.
The other three you would have been 11.
Mind-boggling.
So,
yeah. Yeah, 2000, right?
It's so good. It was like it's one of those movies like Guy Pearce really was his big breakout. I think in the American cinema. I think he'd had a few things in Australia.
Yeah. This is
like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, I think, and that kind of thing.
Well, it's like a student film with a huge fucking budget. Like it's really good, but the idea is like super rudimentary. Like it's not complicated.
And I remember when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's got all the guys from The Matrix in it. Remember?
Yeah, Carrie-Anne Moss
and Joe Pogliatano or whatever. Yeah. Right.
Sure, you pronounced that wrong, but I think great ending. I mean that movie to me. I mean I'm a Nolan guy all day long.
Yes, yeah,
so,
Christopher Nolan's.
I mean,
great.
Being able to watch that movie and then watch the stuff today and then go back
Christopher
and watch.
Nolan?
Yeah, I'm
really?
kind of a big fan.
They're good friends.
A little bit. Yeah, we talk.
Christopher Nolan, come on the show.
Yeah, he was here last week.
Go, Chris.
He's my favorite director.
Easily, I feel better at life when I see Christopher Nolan.
If I'm having a bad day, like Interstellar's like one of my go-tos.
Ooh,
such a fucking heartache too. I'm like I get all.
That
one
or
hits me.
Or Back to the Future. Let's be honest. That's a perfect movie.
Number 5, 12 Monkeys.
Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
Bruce Willis making a couple appearances on this
Brad
list.
Pitt's in this too.
Yeah.
The idea that
Brad Pitt and
your
12
younger
Monkeys.
self then kills your older self was great in what was the one he did with
Doesn't
Joseph?
kill himself.
Wait,
He
that was
sees
cool.
himself
Oh,
die.
sorry, he sees himself die. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's it. Sorry, I was thinking of the one he did with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, that's Looper.
Looper, thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, watching yourself die, probably. I mean,
This is the movie that made me fall in love with Terry Gilliam.
he really makes a world, doesn't he?
He totally does.
Yeah. This is dystopian at its core definition. It's such a big movie. It's like almost it's 2+ hours, I think.
It is, and
Which is strange for the time.
I mean, everything that Terry Gilliam does is big world building. Like you don't get a 90-minute movie out of him.
this is also the first movie where Bruce Willis wasn't in an action movie.
Yes, it's true. He played.
This is like
Well, he played a mentally ill, drugged out person, time traveler. Like that's not a leading man by anything that he'd done.
Well, but he
before.
was a leading man, right?
Sure, yeah, he's the lead.
But he's in a psych ward for a third of the movie.
It asks something of Bruce Willis to do instead of just.
I also like how like they to get Brad Pitt to be as like erratic in that scene as possible. They didn't let him smoke cigarettes for a day.
Oh really?
And because he used to be like a 3-pack of smoke, 3-pack a day
right.
He was all dirty and weird
he was
and
yeah. So they were able to get that because he was.
We got more games.
Yeah.
Games. Do we? I mean, it's a. I don't think it's an amazing surprise ending. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, wow. I can't say yes. It's good, but I'm gonna say no for me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's like blows my mind, but it's a great movie, and it has a good ending. But I wouldn't say it's the greatest twist.
It's like the ending that's meant for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've seen the movie, you're like, yeah, if we didn't do this, it would be weird.
Yeah, like what else would
it was more just
be?
like, oh, that was himself seeing that, and you're like, oh, that's crazy, but it's not like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's the grandfather paradox. It's the Back to the Future thing, right? Like, so I don't know.
sleep with your mom.
Has anybody seen Identity?
I have.
Okay, what is it about? I've never seen it.
So it's a whole bunch of strangers are stranded at a motel.
That's right. I have seen this.
and then they're all like, I don't
something
can't
about a
remember.
serial killer.
Yeah,
right?
and there's like one of them is and they're talking about like a serial killer. Anyway, there's two twists. The first twist is that you find out that all the people who are at the motel are actually just like all the split personalities of this like serial killer who's on death row.
Oh, I've never seen this movie.
And then the second, and then there's like, well, that's pretty much it. Like there's an ending.
Cast.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I saw this movie when I was pretty young. I remember really liking it at the time.
It has Jake Busey in it.
It does have Jake Busey in it. And it's also James Mangold too.
I
Wolverine.
Yeah, I remember enjoying it. I remember being blown away by the twist when I was like 15.
I watched this movie when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So I remember it and I was like, "Oh, wow, that's cool."
Split personality disorder. What?
But it feels like that. It doesn't feel that it's such a big.
This is when John Cusack was on top of the world.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, I think it ends up being the kid personality who's the killer. Like they think
But the
they've
real
got
killer.
him. Yeah, the real killer. as the kid personality. So they think that he's cured or whatever, and I think they let him back out.
They take him off death row.
Yeah,
and
it turns out it's like the kid who was the killer all along. Boom, boom, boom.
Rob, you're not missing anything.
You ruined them. You ruined the movie.
We
for me.
told you at the beginning.
Yeah, everybody, you're
Spoilers.
movie ruiners. I'm gonna go no. No for time because it's cool.
I have no opinion.
It depends on when you watched it, I guess. At the time, when I was 15, I was like, what?
Now you're
Movies that
older.
blow
Now
my
you're
mind.
smarter. Now you have a different eye.
But I don't know. I haven't seen it since I've
critical.
been older and smarter.
Oh, all right. That's
So
stupid.
you know what? I'm stuck in 15-year-old Emily, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I
All right.
liked it.
Okay, fair enough. Rob, what is next?
The Prestige.
Oh.
This is arguably one of the greatest endings of a movie of all time.
It's such a bit. And you are on the ride with Jackman's character. You are
Well, the whole time you're like, how did he do the fucking? And then you're like, what the fuck?
the magic
Yeah.
trick is the ending, which is why it's so fucking cool.
And
it's not a different ending. It's just the magic trick is
Yeah.
revealed.
And when you find out that they're twins, and then you think back, it's like you said, it all has to go chung chung chung, and your brain is like fills it all in and goes, oh my god, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
And you're like, because throughout the movie you're like, why is he such a fucking asshole to his wife here? And why is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it all kind of comes together, and you're like, oh, he wasn't having an affair. He actually did love her. It was because the brother was in love with this character, and you're just like, fuck.
And it unravels so fast, but makes so much sense. And then you're like Tesla at the same time. Like it's just it's beautifully shot. It's a mystery wrapped inside of a thriller. Like there's.
Do you like it better than The Illusionist?
Yes, I do. Oh, yes,
I don't even think I saw The Illusionist. I think I saw The Prestige, and then The Illusionist came out, and I was like, "Is this the same movie?"
Well, they came
I've
out.
already seen it.
Came out right.
That
at the
was
same
one
time.
of those
Deep Impact.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw both of those. I love a disaster
Mall Cop
movie.
versus To Serve and Protect.
Yeah.
Two of the same
Like similar movies that happen to come out right around the same
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
classic.
Clearly, I could only handle one magic movie. Well, I could handle two disaster movies. So, what does that
I
say?
mean, I prefer American-based magic movies versus and UK-based magic movies versus Russian. Because The Illusionist was in Russia.
Racist.
And I
Yeah,
felt
that's
Jessica
true. It was.
and
Yeah.
Edward Norton was really good in it, but I felt like Jessica Biel was a little flat.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think she was just. I'm gonna be the magician's.
She's not a great actor.
Well, she's also like a love interest. It's not as.
The movie, it's okay, but it came out after The Prestige, and The Prestige was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
It was like Prestige Light. Is
Yeah.
what it was.
So for me, it's a big fat yes for
Yeah.
Prestige.
Oh, always, all the time.
Checkity check.
Magic makes my heart
Psycho,
swim.
the original.
Hitchcock.
Fucking Hitchcockian.
Dun-dun-dun.
Give me that Hitchcock. Put it in my mouth.
You know what I love about Hitchcock is I love the intros to his movies. Like, you know, he's always got like a funky kind of animation and stuff.
Yep.
Like with the
I know the one you're talking about.
well, Psycho especially. It's like ding 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 with the white and the black.
Wasn't
kinda.
Double Indemnity him too?
And the
No,
birds.
Double
The
Indemnity is
birds
not
is
him.
like.
Okay. The Birds with the
Yeah.
bird. Yeah,
Double Indemnity is the first real film noir movie. That's what it's
Yes.
known for because it came out in like 47 or 48.
And he didn't start till late 50s, early 60s.
Early 50s.
Early 50s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom showed this to me. I have a very special place in my heart for Psycho because she's like, you won't believe what's coming, right? I think this was actually, it's going to be a hard yes for me because it's my first recollection of, oh my God, the surprise.
But remember,
at the
Mike,
end.
you're older and smarter now.
I know, but you pulled the young
I
Emily
know.
card, so I'm pulling the young Michael
So what was the
card.
biggest surprise for you? Like the fact that his mother was actually dead? Like that
Or the
part?
fact that he was like.
The fact that the mother part was believable, but the fact
Yeah.
that he was mother
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what I didn't see coming.
At
all.
the split personality.
The
part,
split personality.
yeah.
And then you can't not talk about Psycho without talking about like Hitchcock being like, no, I want it to look like she's being stabbed.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
love
then,
how the
like,
blood is actually Hershey's syrup.
right? Like, I mean, well, black and white. What do you?
Well, but
Yeah.
that
Easy.
actually, he used that because it actually showed better on film.
Yeah, 'cause it
They actually
moved.
tried a red dye,
Yeah.
and it didn't look well. So then they tried the brown, and it played better on the film.
Yeah.
It made me realize that you could
Jamie Lee Curtis's mom.
you can
R.I.P.
either save a movie, right? Yeah, you can either save a movie or you can turn a movie around or you can even impress upon people more with a good surprise.
Do you
ending.
think
And
like women at that time were like freaked out to travel by themselves for a while?
Oh, for
Yes,
sure.
I was so scared of like showers and stuff.
The
Yeah.
6-room motel on the side of the highway. with
I
the
think
Yeah.
creepy
I think the
house.
CIA funded the making of that movie.
Oh, here we go.
To make sure that the family unit stayed strong and to fight feminism.
Good, someone has to. God.
Subliminal messaging brought to you by the Real
So
Debaters.
Hitchcock, also was my introduction to horror. My mom showed me The Birds.
Sure, yeah.
That was my first.
Birds is freaky.
Yeah, and so that was my intro to horror as a kid, and I've been fucked up ever since. Thanks,
North by Northwest is still,
Thanks, Mom.
I think, my favorite Hitchcock movie.
He really knows how to.
Vertigo's really good.
Yeah, he really knows how to unravel your mind.
I don't own a lot of director box sets, but I do. That's one I own.
I feel like this is the second one in like 10 minutes you've talked about, so you
He has
definitely
many.
own a couple.
He has
Well, no,
many,
but I,
many leather bound.
But I can't
DVDs.
buy a Nolan box set yet. He's not dead.
Yeah, they don't make those until you've
Like
either
he's
stopped
like,
or have
yeah,
died.
like they're. I'm pretty
I'm getting
confident
ready.
he's gonna have a few more.
Okay, number 9. We're almost halfway through this.
One or two.
Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah,
Like you can buy a Kubrick, you can buy a Hitchcock.
sure, yeah. You
Yeah,
can buy Hitchcock.
yeah.
Being on Earth all along.
That
I mean, the ending of this is pretty crazy.
It is pretty
Yeah.
crazy for
and it's
like.
classic. Like
Oh, it is?
it's the humanity. Yeah, it's
Charlton Heston.
Do you think it's Charlton Heston's best surprise ending though in a movie? I
No,
don't think
no.
it is.
I think the Ten Commandments is.
I
I was like, oh shit, he's a big deal.
the tree's burning.
Fucking
that
open
bush
the
is burning.
No one saw the water coming.
I think Soylent Green's a bigger twist.
Okay. Yeah.
Soylent Green is people.
You're eating. Yeah, I mean, what is it? What was that train movie, Snowpiercer, where they're doing the same thing, where they're.
Oh yeah, Snowpiercer's pretty fucked up.
But like, yeah, no, I will have to give it to you.
How they're basically breeding small children so they can have children to put in to fucking operate the fucking the engine.
The tiny hens. I like Planet of the Apes because it's the last place you'd find one. It's a really like you're going on this sci-fi journey. You don't need to have a surprise ending in a sci-fi movie.
it's true.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
Why? It doesn't.
Why not?
Well, I'm not saying. Well, I shouldn't say why. I'm saying it's just not.
Well,
the common-
sci-fi was different back then.
Totally different. Makeup alone, Dick Richard, what the hell's his name? The guy who did the makeup, actually, Doug Morrow, who's been on the show, Manitoba makeup artist.
Yeah.
He took a class as this guy was getting on later in life. And
Oh, cool.
The guy who did the makeup for Planet of the Apes taught Morrow how to do his casting and his.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, he was taught by the best.
I think definitely
Yeah, I'm a yes.
yeah.
It's fun. It's weird. You know what? It makes your heart drop at the end because you're like, oh my god, he
Noah's
can't.
Earth all along.
Emily, this one.
I love my Star Wars. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back is, I'm gonna say, arguably like the number one. Like, wow.
That's his father.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, okay. I'm gonna take back what I said about the sci-fi comment. Like you not needing a big twist ending in the end of a sci-fi movie because now we're on the best sci-fi movies.
I know.
I believe you
Surprise
just ate your words, Michael.
And not only that, it sets up like such a huge arc of Skywalker story, right?
Well,
like
the thing is, nobody knew. Like in the script they gave to all the cast, it didn't even say anything about that.
Yeah.
The only people that knew about it was like Mark Hamill found out about it like the day before.
yeah.
They had all they had in there was Obi and Vader fight. That was the only instruction. Like it was just a fight. That's it. There was no.
No. You Luke and
Luke and
Vader.
Vader.
Sorry, Luke and Vader.
No, they had a script, but at no point was
Yeah.
there "You're my father."
Yeah,
That
no.
one- yeah, that was- that
He
was-
had an alternative script for it that only Hamill got the day before.
Yeah.
Can you
It's
imagine doing that to
no.
your actor? Like you've
mean,
taken him for a movie and a half so far, and then you're like, "Okay, this is what we're gonna do."
I love
Trust
it.
me.
And then it just like sets up, like, I know everyone feels whatever they feel about Star Wars movies, but then it like sets it up and you realize it's not a story.
Anyone that
It's
doesn't
not
like it dies.
Yeah, it's not a story about Luke, right? Like, okay, it's a story about Anakin, right? And then it kind of keeps going and going from there. It just sets up like one of the most immersive, in-depth plot lines of our generation.
You do two things with that.
I believe
reveal.
in history.
You make Vader sympathetic. You make the audience sympathetic to Vader,
100%.
and
It humanizes him.
it humanizes him, and you also get this incredible hero's journey arc now embedded in a family he's been trying to kill. Like he is now at such a crossroads, and I can see what George Lucas was trying to do. Is this was like there's so much
and it's about the
changes.
dichotomy of like, are you going to go evil like your father,
Yeah.
or are you going to
Yeah.
going to stay on
Yeah.
the good path?
There's so much you can do with that, and I mean
And then they butchered it in 789.
yeah, that's true. Thank you. Rian
Thank you,
Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
We all agree that that's a yes.
That's a big fat yes.
Black Swan.
Natalie Portman.
It's a good twist.
Yeah, it was a weird one though. Like I mean, it was definitely good. It was definitely interesting. It just kind of. I guess it was.
Do we think
sort of
she dies in her last performance?
Yeah. Yes.
Like she stabbed herself, so she goes off to do one final performance.
She stabs herself. She doesn't realize it, or she realizes that she stabbed herself. She goes off because like the black swan dies at the end of the.
Yeah, it's very meta.
Yeah, so I think yes, I think she dies.
It's a beautiful movie. I love Darren Aronofsky. I can watch whatever he makes all day long.
Yeah.
If I'll have a piece of pie.
If
please.
I wasn't a little bit gay before this movie, I definitely was after.
Right?
Like
just watching that French dude make her.
I went from 25 to 75.
It was like there's a lot of things that won't make your kid.
I went from 6 to 12.
Well, we went from 6 to 12, but she went from drip to puddle.
Lots of things won't make your kid gay, but watching Black Swan with Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis, well.
How many lady boners out of 10 do you give that one?
I don't want to talk about it. I promised Dan I wouldn't talk about this kind of stuff anymore.
I don't like that. Talk about it. No, I'm kidding. I don't think the big twist in Black Swan's great. I'm a no. I'm like, it is an ending. It's cool, but like, I'm not.
I don't think the twist was like so much as it was
away.
just like, oh.
No Way Out from 1987.
I'm trying to remember this.
I never
movie.
saw this, I don't think.
I don't think I've ever seen this one either.
It's the one last Cold War thriller that was released during the Cold War proper. Kevin Costner, Gene Hackman star with former playing Navy man. It becomes eyes and ears of Hackman's Secretary of Defense.
I've never seen this movie.
These are worries about a mole or a sleeper agent within the U.S. government. In the end, dun dun dun, it turns out Costner was the mole, a Russian sleeper agent raised in America to make him the ultimate spy. That is a trope. I do not go, oh wow.
Well, I think
that's what you expect in a movie.
I think it's been overplayed, right?
When you're
like
watching
Manchurian
Candidate
kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, even Homeland. I mean, Homeland had like 3 or 4
Salt.
salts, right? Like when we're watching a spy movie, we always know someone's a double agent. It's not a big reveal. It's not like, oh my god.
Yeah,
right.
We've all seen Mission Impossible.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible.
We know
force.
John Hurt's an asshole.
I'm a no.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
It doesn't get any more time out of us.
I've got another one. This is another one I haven't seen.
Jacob's Ladder is fucking awesome.
Is
It's big.
So it's Tim Robbins. It's good.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but like it ties in to like these guys fighting in fucking Vietnam, and there's all this it's alluding to like Agent Orange being dropped on them and hallucinogenics, and it's pretty cool.
The ladder is death. Essentially, it's an allegory for death, and you find out in the end that
he's actually in Vietnam still, like dying basically.
Yeah, right. It's all a hallucination at death.
Oh, crazy.
So it's almost like that DMT trip that happens, like, because when you die, your brain creates floods full of DMT, right?
Yeah.
Similar to like when you dream, right? And a lot of people that don't die and come back, they see a lot of light, and that's maybe where like I saw the beam of light go out.
And that's the whole light flashing before your eyes thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Cool.
you come back, they turn the movie off until you.
Ironically, DMT is illegal, but your brain produces it.
Yeah.
My brain has always been a sketchy bitch, so that doesn't surprise me.
It's really
My
heart
brain's
wrenching.
basically just a meth lab. I get it.
It's heart wrenching. Jacob's
I
Ladder.
think meth and DMT are slightly different.
Just producing illegal drugs constantly.
This movie was a big thing in the 90s, and so was Dallas and all that, like Who Shot JR shit. So this whole, it was a dream thing. The dream sequence was a big trope, and I don't think a dream sequence is a great way to end something.
It's also interesting, too, because in it, he goes and sees a chiropractor, and he'll go get adjusted by the chiropractor, and the chiropractor will do a deep adjustment, and then he'll have this crazy flashback from it. It's like it's releasing something within him.
Oh, cool.
I don't know. It's a very interesting premise how it's all layered.
It sounds like it's not a dream so much as it's like a hallucination, like you said. But also, I was 2 when this came out, so I think that's why I haven't seen it.
Friday the 13th. It was Mama. Mama did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good. I think when I saw this, because like I saw this, I was so young and I shouldn't have fucking seen it. Like I was probably like 5. And
I'm always expecting, if there's a masked killer,
or 6,
that there's always somebody else involved, and the killer's doing one thing, and the other person, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right? The family's driving Leatherface. Leatherface is left to his own devices, but the family's like, we need to eat.
Movie is so fun. That's got a not a twist so much as like a horrifying ending where they're like trying to escape and then they just can't, and they take them back to the town. Oh, that movie haunts me.
Right?
This
Bunch
one,
of hillbillies. I don't know. Like
Friday the 13th. I wouldn't have considered this a twist. I would have just considered this the ending of a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you also have to remember, you got to look at the context of it, right? Like, it's one of the first kind of slasher movies from the early 80s, and it kind of set up a genre. So I think maybe that's where this comes from. It's based on kind of that. But I agree. I don't think it's much of a twist.
No, it's the reveal of who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Scooby-Doo release, yeah.
They pull off the mask.
Yeah.
Would have gotten away with it too. If you
I've just looked at Don't Look Now, which is 15 out of 20, which we can skip because the last thing it says about it is then it turns out to be a murderous dwarf who cuts his throat with a meat cleaver. Well, that's definitely a twist. That doesn't sound like a surprise ending at all.
Donald Sutherland's character keeps feeling like he's seeing a child. Okay.
I've never seen this movie.
Neither have I.
Neither have I. Okay,
Next.
16 out of 20. This is one of mine.
Cabin in the Woods.
This is one of the ones that I was
Do you know
going
I
to talk
didn't see
about.
this till like 2 years ago?
That's weird.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I didn't watch it at first, and I was like, this movie's gonna be stupid. And then a buddy of mine rented
You're
it,
like, Thor's in it.
and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. And we were just like, what the fuck?
This is
Well, you
It's
get
one of my
this,
favorites.
You get this thing where you're like,
you think it's like an Evil Dead kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck?
It's
like
Evil Dead
opens-
and more.
And then it's like opens into this like fucking facility, and you're like,
Yep.
And then
it's-
they're like betting on how they're gonna die, and you're like, what the?
Because it's like the whole thing, because they do it every year or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and it's like for the ancient ones. But my favorite part about it is at the end, they're just like, no, we're not going to die. We would rather like sacrifice the whole world. Like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And I love that. It
Yeah.
was, it's like, because you kind of, even once the twist is revealed and that it's like this facility and whatever, you kind of expect them to die and the world to carry on as
that's
expected.
the surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but it's a double twist, right?
That's
There's a
right.
twist. It's like
Yeah.
it's not a cabin in the woods. It's a facility that's being set up. Oh God, twist! And then you expect them to die and everything to carry on, but they
Yeah,
don't
it's
die.
true.
They're just like fuck you and fuck all of you. We're all gonna die. And then
They break the barrier.
and then the ancient ones come out and ostensibly like
It's like
destroy the world.
It's
And
like
the biggest star in the movie dies in the first 20 minutes.
yeah. Well, he wasn't that big then.
yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, he was working his way up.
I guess Sigourney Weaver's in it, so
She.
Because she's the big boss in the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah,
right?
she is. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies. I love the twist. I came in here ready to talk about this one. This was one of my picks.
Okay, so yours made it to the list. That's sweet. Okay, because mine hasn't made it yet.
My other one's not on here.
All right. What's next?
The game.
Oh yes.
I am the game. Jesus Christ!
This-
Was that
So this
movie
is
is
this
so
is the
good.
this is the biggest twist movie I remember because
Yes.
I remember seeing this when I was in grade 12 and walking and just being like and just seeing it and just walking out and just being like, what the fuck?
What did I just see?
Totally.
I didn't get to see that in the theater. That was a DVD release.
But the funny thing about this movie being a twist is like the twist is just that the movie is what it says it was going to be, right? Like
it's that simple sometimes.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I got you this gift card for this experience. It's going to be amazing, but like you're going to have so much fun. And then he's going through the experience and like whatever, it's amazing, it's so much fun. But he forgets, like he starts to believe that it's not like that it's not fun.
Because it's too
immersive.
far
It's
out there.
too-
It's
yeah.
too on the edge,
Too
right?
real.
Well, it
Yeah.
starts to get into his home,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden sexual assault and
Yeah.
drug use and
Yeah.
and murder and all of these things that are so
It's-
carefully curated.
It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like we're gonna give you an endorphin experience. It's like we're gonna fuck with your emotions to the point where you're ready to take a gun and
You're gonna
kill
have
somebody.
a change.
He jumps off a roof. He tries to kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, but it's funny that like,
And then Nikki's there, just
yeah.
with a glass of champagne, clapping.
Yeah, it's funny because like the twist, like that's what I like about this twist is that it's not a twist. It's just like they told you the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
They told him what was going to happen, and it's just like you stop believing it. That was fun.
It's kind of like it's kind of like
It's
you
Fincher
know,
too, isn't
it's
it?
It's like how they say like the globalist reptilian Satanists they have to say everything out front before they do something and then they do it. You know, it's that kind of thing.
Just like that. Just that
exactly.
totally normal example.
Such a deep cut
Totally normal
reference.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I watch it actually probably once or twice a year. I would put it. It's like a background movie. I love always catching where I'm like, yep, totally was done here. Totally was pulled in here. Didn't think this was. And you're like, it gets so much more over the top as it goes that you're like, where is this going? And then it literally takes you off the edge of a building. And I feel you're really with him. Fincher does a really good
Yes,
job
you're staying-
of bringing you with him.
You're feeling it's like you're in stream of consciousness kind of. But so I am going to go though and argue that this isn't. I don't think it's a twist. Because it's the exact opposite of a twist. It's exactly what you were promised. There's no convoluting. Like from the beginning, you're told what to expect, And
So don't
your expectations are subverted,
Trust no
but
one.
that's your own fault, I think. I don't think it's a twist.
I don't think it's your fault that it's subverted. I think that's great filmmaking,
yeah.
and that it took me on an adventure, and it took my emotions in a particular spiral, and then it and then it fucks them at the end,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
like tips
you get
things
fucked in the drive-thru.
upside down. But I understand where you're coming from.
I can see that too. I mean, it's a yes for me, but yeah.
It's
opinions
yes
aside.
in the sense it's a great movie. I don't think
But it's not a.
I don't
Sure.
think it's a pure twist in my.
It's also not a movie you can really watch a second time.
Nope, you're
You
done.
can. I
pulled the
rewatched it
pin.
about 20 years later, and it was good. But I knew it the whole time how it was going to end.
The substance doesn't match up to the big.
It was
yeah.
good because I was watching it with somebody that had never seen it, so I was excited
yeah.
for
You
them.
were watching them.
I was like
Yeah.
watching them to see their reaction. It's kind of like the first time I watched Game of Thrones season 1, and I'd read the books and I knew it was going to happen, and I got to and everyone's like, "Man, I love Ned. He's so awesome. I can't wait to see him through the whole series." And you're like, "Ha ha!"
But
fucker."
I also said, I was like, listen, I've seen Sean Bean do enough, and he always
Yes,
dies.
we know
So-
Sean Bean is
So
good
if you
at
know Sean Bean's great at dying.
He is really good at dying, but he's also good at coming back at the end of GoldenEye. Twist.
I haven't seen this one.
You haven't seen Orphan?
Orphan. No.
I have not seen Orphan either.
So okay, here's the ending. She looks like a child. She's adopted. Murderous things start happening in the family's home, and we find out that Lena is a 33-year-old woman who's posing as a kid.
Isn't there like a news story about this somewhere? Like, isn't this like based on?
It
So
might
is she
be
like a little person?
No, she's got growth issues,
Okay.
but like not like not like a little person would have obvious signs. Like she just didn't grow height wise. Like she's more proportional. There's no obvious
Well,
signs.
Peter
of,
Sarsgaard's in it.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like him.
It's pretty out there because it is in the idea of child murderers basically, right? So you don't see
great.
you
That's
don't
one of
see
my
that
that's one of my favorite themes.
you don't see that coming.
I see it coming. If I'm murdered, definitely start with Lily.
They
I
do a
feel
very
like.
good job of making you think she's just this bothered little girl who
You have a favorite child, like a favorite of your children to like
Murder me.
my favorite in a bet is that this child will murder
Like,
me
if
over
I'm-
this child.
If I'm murdered, it's Lily.
So I'll tell you, it's okay. It's not amazing, but it's like whoa.
Okay.
And then that gives room for the sequel because another family doesn't know, and then she falls in love with the husband and wants to kill the wife, and then it's a big reveal, which was also shot here. Orphan 2 was shot here in Manitoba.
Ew.
Remember Me,
Never seen
2010.
it.
Never seen it.
Okay, so the breakdown simple. The night
Robert
after.
Pattinson and what isn't the main girl in this from Lost?
I think so.
Oh,
yeah.
2011. Oh, so it's something about the World Trade Centers.
Family drama, also romantic drama, blah 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 blah. Tyler, after his romantic interests his romantic interest professes their love, he heads to work. His father takes Tyler's sister Caroline to school, informing Tyler will be late to work. Caroline's teacher then writes the date on the board. It's September 11th, 2001, and Tyler works in the World Trade Center. Yes, this is the twist of Remember Me. It was quite, from what I remember hearing about it, it was not reviewed well.
You know,
It was a weak fall. Like,
Robert Pattinson makes a really good Batman.
he does.
Yep.
He
So
does.
He was very good in Tenet.
I'll give him a pass.
Lastly on this list, which did not prove any fruit.
Love this movie.
I've never seen
Never
it.
seen it.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's really good.
So, What Lies Beneath? Michelle Pfeiffer, Harrison Ford. What's the skinny of it here?
It's basically like a guy. So two mega hotties, by the way, Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So two mega hotties. They're at a lake. He's like let me see if I can remember. Yeah, he's a professor. They think there's a ghost. It's in the bathroom. I can't remember exactly.
Maybe I have seen this actually.
Yeah. So he, I can't remember now. Right, a student. He admits later that like he had an affair with a student and
then murdered
Harrison
her?
Ford, and then murdered her.
Yeah,
So
that's
his
what it says here.
super hot wife finds out, and
Not his wife. His super hot wife.
it's important for me to
fuckable
point.
wife.
It's important for me to point this out that like why would you have an affair if you were married to Michelle Pfeiffer? Is my
That
question.
hot piece of ash.
But yeah. So and then
Maybe
it's his.
she just lies there.
He's basically like being haunted, I think, by the ghost of the student that he murdered, and then basically I think she kills him in the end.
Yeah, so he's
So it says
haunted.
the ghost drowns
The
him or
ghost
something,
kills him
right?
in the end.
Yeah.
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 It's just a fun movie with a bunch of hotties. Honestly, I really enjoyed it.
So surprise ending was hot.
Yeah.
All right.
So hot.
I mean, it says here at the end, as Ford tries to drown his wife, he's grabbed by the ghost of Madison.
Yeah.
Pfeiffer escapes. Ford drowns. The end. Now there's a thriller with a twist. Yeah, sure. Because you know what? You don't expect her to become a final girl. You expect her to die.
Right.
And then she gets out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a big twist. I was just Dan asked me what we're talking about today, and I said twist endings, and he goes, Shamalama Ding Dong films.
That's
That's
funny.
what he refers
That's
to
pretty
them
funny.
as?
So
He's
what-
M.
so-
Night Shyamalan.
So
yes, there it is.
so out of all the Shyamalama Ding Dong movies, what's your favorite twist ending one other than Sixth Sense?
It has to be Sixth Sense. I didn't really like any of them other than that. Like I guess the Village.
The Village
The
has is a
Village.
pretty good twist. Yeah.
If you find like the idea of people dressed up like overgrown porcupines scary, but then again the ending
if
was
you're
good.
raised in an environment with no access to television,
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a
But
scary
I think
The
the whole
ending was
point is
fun.
you
It's like
think it's 1700s.
Yeah,
right?
and then it turns out to be modern time. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
So none of mine were on that list. One of yours was.
Mm-hmm.
Were any of yours on that list?
I mean, Fight Club is on there. The Game was on there. Prestige was on there. The only one that wasn't that I really like is Inside Man.
Yeah, he was inside the bank the entire time. Buried himself in the cell. Some Clive Owen shit. Who is that? That's Spike Jonze too, right?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. Thank you.
It's
Sorry.
his number one grossing movie.
Yeah, it's insanely good.
It's very good.
It's so good. And I mean, yeah, you kind of know something's up, but they bait and switch the fuck out of you so well by
I
the
love
end
a good
that-
bait and switch.
Well, you're like, why are they digging the concrete out? And then you realize you're like, oh, again, a good secret ending, a good surprise ending also needs a good let's put the pieces together for you, right?
Yeah.
One of mine most notorious known surprise ending in the history of horror. Saw was not mentioned on that list.
Oh yeah.
That really bothers me because
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
Saw-
the first one
one's
is
a good twist.
is a good twist. Yeah,
It's
the
an
dead guy.
insane-
He's the dead guy, right?
well, the
Yeah,
killer's
yeah.
never in the room, dead the entire time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what theaters you were in, but I was in one where some guy was like, "Know it," and screamed it out, and then a bunch of other people are like, "Fuck you, buddy! No, you didn't."
That's why you have to tell Dan ahead of time what you think is going to happen so that you can prove you did know it.
That was such a big thing to do in horror.
Yeah.
Was to just reverse how you know the killer's coming. You never knew the killer was always there.
Yeah.
Right? That bit. And then the other one I like because it's so goddamn heartbreaking and violent is The Mist.
No, that was mine.
That was yours? So
No.
sorry.
Sorry, I just yelled into my.
At least we have a tie.
Yeah, I agree. I
Did you see The Mist, Rob?
I did.
could not agree more. It's my, I think, well, I don't know. Cabin in the Woods is up there too, but it's like really close to my favorite. It's tied for my favorite.
It's so,
It's so
shocking.
sad.
It's not what
Shocking and sad.
Shocking and sad. And
Yeah.
you're like, Stephen King. I mean, I know you like to go to Derry and fuck kids up and take them in the sewer and stuff, but like, I've never seen a child even implied being shot like that before.
Yeah.
That was one of the first times where I was like, oh, we're into the kid game now. We're going to kill kids on screen. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well, he wrote The Mist when he was in the depths of Cujo times.
Oh, so cocaine and coffee.
Cocaine and coffee and whiskey and cigarettes.
Yeah, yeah.
it's shocking.
Shouldn't
and-
have been-
It's a short story.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And isn't like
It's
I
in
love
the Night Shift book.
which is so good. Night
well,
Shadows.
I mean, even in the movie, they do a little bit of Dark Tower in it, where he's painting the cover for one
Yeah.
of the like Dark Towers turned into a movie or some shit.
Yeah,
But
I
it
don't know.
was, it was
There's
horrible.
it's something so crazy, and like it actually lives rent free in my brain because having kids, I think about it, and it's kind of like the of Mice and Men vibe, right? Where you're like, if you know they're gonna die this horrible
Yeah,
death,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
you love them, do you like, and do you sacrifice like, you know, their lives in a humane sort of loving way to try to keep them from suffering, and
Sophie's Choice.
yeah.
That's another one too.
Yes.
You don't know that movie's about being a Jew and being sent off to a camp until the end when they make her choose.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, oh, but then he makes this horrible, painful, terrible decision to like humanely end his children's lives
Yeah.
just for out of the mist when he thinks he's coming monsters, but it's rescue. It's
the military.
It's the military. Oh my God. Oh, I can't even.
And it's like didn't have a bullet for himself, right?
He didn't.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
so he
right.
doesn't have-
Yeah,
he
he was
only
going to
has-
kill himself, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
right.
and he only has a bullet for his wife and his kids. And so he's like, he thinks he's
It's not even his wife. It's
sacrificing.
just another. It's the teacher from
Oh, that's right. It's the
elementary
teacher. That's
school.
right, because the wife's already dead by
Yeah.
this point.
I'm just my favorite part in that whole movie is when they kill the religious preaching lady.
Yeah.
when she eats it in the end,
Yeah.
she's like, "God will come for you."
Yeah.
It's Aaron Eckhart, right? In that?
No,
No.
that's
Tom.
He was in Hung.
Oh,
Thomas Jane.
He
Thomas
was
Jane,
in
Thomas Jane.
He was also in The Sweetest Thing.
He was Punisher.
He was in The Sweetest Thing.
He was the bad Punisher.
Yeah, it was. That's one of the.
What about Parasite?
Parasite.
Oh, Parasite was a really good ending
That's
too.
also a good one too.
And what about Get Out?
Well,
Those are
okay.
two that pop
Get
in
Out
my-
also good,
Yeah.
but the twist in Get Out, I guess the twist in Get Out was like in the middle, not in the end, but it was
Yeah,
good.
but it's still a good twist.
Yeah, I mean
So
the
good
twist in
twist.
Parasite too was because you find out
They're
that
both of them. Those are about 3/4 of the way,
Yeah, like it's a twist reveal as to where the last direction of this movie is going.
and then it's frantic right to the end.
It's a chase
Yes.
to the end because now everyone knows.
Although, hang on, I would say in Parasite the twist, I don't think that the twist. Oh, hang on, what's the key twist in Parasite? Because like
There's
the
a couple.
family, because the family is like doing their thing. They're kind of crazy.
you don't
Then
know
there's
that
the
they're
twist-
living below until
Then
they
there's
show
the twist
you
that's
that it's,
that woman's husband is living underneath,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And so that's fine. And then not fine, but that's a good
But
twist.
they're locked
and
in
then
the house.
everybody dies. And then there's a twist later where they come back to buy the house, and there turns out their dad's been living there the whole time, right?
Yeah, I think that was the
That's
bigger
the
twist.
twist.
ending,
That's
yeah.
the ending.
Well,
yeah.
and that's there's the great bait and switch. It's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done with finding out the family lives below and this happened, but we're not done yet because he's and I mean, it's such a like I didn't see it until after when it was told to me, but I was like, oh yeah, this is a great conversation about wealth and disparity between cultures and classes and everything because it's like the upstairs downstairs people with the whole Bridgerton thing. Like you got a really great fucking movie with a really big ending on it.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's a good call. That was a good one.
What else is coming to mind? I mean, mostly what's coming to mind is that gnocchi that Shauna made me upstairs before we started.
Yeah, it smells really good.
Yeah, I think we've given enough blood, sweat, and surprise endings ruined for listener this week. Listener, if you have a surprise ending that you think we should have talked about that we didn't get,
Scream is pretty good.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
again, it's
yeah.
just a reveal. I feel
Yeah.
on screen,
Yeah.
like with horror, just a reveal, not a twist.
You need a big fireworks display for.
Oh, you know what's a good one?
What?
I'm looking at a list right now.
Yeah.
Fallen.
Fallen.
That's with Denzel Washington with those with the spirit. They can jump from body to body.
Oh, Dakota Fanning, is she in that one? With no, that's
no, I don't think so.
no.
No,
I know.
I
The
don't
one,
know.
yeah. That's around like late
where
90s.
where the guy has to have a host body, and like he purposely gets at the end, and he goes out into the woods where there's no other person, and then like the spirit ends up getting into like a deer.
Oh,
Oh, fuck.
that sounds cool. I'll tell
Also,
you.
It Follows. Surprise that the horror monster is sexual assault. It's a smart take on. It's smart horror. It's elevated horror.
What
where
movie is this?
It Follows.
It Follows. Okay,
Sorry.
I've never seen it.
Sorry, you don't listen to me. Don't listen at this point right now.
Okay.
I'll give you a not surprise ending. It's Dan wants me to pick up beers on the way home.
Sweet.
Not a twist.
I
What
think I
about
have
American Psycho?
that it was all in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, totally, 100%. But that was what it was always about because you knew that he was being like, I'm into murders and executions. What murders and acquisitions?
Yeah.
So like you are watching him. You are not aware that you are aware that he is trying to figure out what's real and what's not.
Yeah, like he's in a complete psychosis.
Yeah. So when you find out that it wasn't real, half of you is already there.
Yeah.
Where these other ones where Kaiser Sose, you were never anywhere near
Totally.
that. Right?
Totally.
So,
Totally.
But as mentioned, if you've got an idea, listener, if you want to see us do a part 2, because we love sequels, we all know that. Hollywood's taught us that. We can do this again with a new list. We can include yours if you want to leave a voicemail in the show notes. Please do so. Click on it. You get up to 3 minutes to tell us your gripe, your idea, your submission for your
Tell
favorite
us what
surprise.
really grinds your gears.
What grinds your gears, Peter? What really grinds my gears? And we'll play it on the show. We'll talk about it. We'll dissect it. It'll be a one-way conversation, but we'll be nice with you. And if you're afraid to leave your real name, that is fine. Pick your favorite movie character or TV character and leave it in place of. And we'll be like, Barney Fife wants to say this. Or, I don't know.
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Simpsons. I get that.
Yes, he does.
If you've never listened to the show before, and
You're
you've
gonna
listened-
know all the Simpsons episodes just from us quoting it.
Yeah, no,
over the years.
You're my. It's like reverse osmosis, right? Like by being around it, it'll slowly suck
I don't
it
think
in.
you understand. I don't think you know what reverse osmosis means.
I don't.
Maybe just regular osmosis.
I don't. Yeah.
We're permeating your membrane with Simpsons.
You have a degree in science, and I don't know what you know, but I know you're smart, so I'm probably wrong on both accounts. The point is if you haven't...
It would just be regular osmosis.
Oh, I nailed it.
Did a science project on this, for fuck's sake.
Reverse osmosis is like the water thing.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna drink some fucking water.
I'm gonna drink some reverse osmosis water.
I'm a fucking LA water. Subscribe to the show if this is your first time. Give us some more than one episode. You'll love us. You'll have a good time. If you're from the Winnipeg or Manitoba area, subscribe to our social media. We do trivia. You see us around town. We do stuff. We do live versions of this. We're gonna be at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, we do stuff. I've been Michael.
I'm Rob.
I continue to be Emily.
For this week, we have been your favorite local cinephiles. Welcome to Where the Art of Cinema Met the Power of Debate. Watch all the movies, kids. We'll see you next week. Say bye.
Bye.
Oh, if you have any problems, dial information. Thank you for calling.